Hi, I'm Mary Grant, and I can see ghosts. I'm here visiting St Michael's Mount in Cornwall, which is where I saw a ghost when I visited the island with my mum and dad back in 1974. I wasn't the only person to see the ghost, as you will find out later. I hope you enjoy this video, and I look forward to seeing some of your comments. My story begins back in 1974 when I was 14. I was on holiday with my parents staying at a holiday park in Cornwall, which is in the southwest corner of England. It was a lovely sunny day, and we decided to visit St Michael's Mount. We knew little about St Michael's Mount, but we had seen it shimmering in the sunlight in the bay near Penzance on the south coast. It's an eye-catching little island just out to sea off the coast at mermaids in Cornwall, England. It rises out of the sea within walking distance away from mermaids beach. At low tide, a causeway rises out of the sea for a brief 4 hours to give an invigorating and rather surreal walk over to the island. When the tide starts to rise, it soon covers over and many visitors are caught out and face a long and fast paddle back to dry land. Miss the causeway and you'll need to board one of the boats that ferry passengers to and from the island for a small fee when the tide rises. We decided to catch one of the ferry boats over to the island. I can't remember if the sea was coming in or if we were too scared to risk crossing on the causeway. We boarded the boat and we set off towards St Michael's Mount. St Michael's Mount has a rich and ancient history. Back in 495 AD, tales of seafarers lured by mermaids onto the rocks or guided to safety by Archangel Michael, who appeared on the western side of the island to ward fishermen from certain peril. The apparition of St Michael, the patron saint of fishermen, is a legend that has brought pilgrims, monks, and people of faith to the island to pray and celebrate ever since. It's also believed that ancient ley lines run along the seabed, crossing at the heart of the mount. It is therefore an important landmark for spiritual seekers coming to experience the unique ancient energy found there. At the top of the mount, next to the church, is the highest point of the bedrock. It is said that if you sit on the stone, the energy from the ley lines passing through it from below the mount will send a tingling feeling through your body. It is also well known to grant wishes to people who touch it. We arrived at the little harbour and started to explore the mount. Firstly, looking for the giant's heart in the stone path. The heart belonged to Cornwall the giant. He lived on the island wading across the sea to steal cattle from the nearby towns. Jack, a young lad, took up the challenge to rid the town of this gruesome beast, and one night he made his way over to the island and dug a huge hole. He sounded his horn and the giant came running out and fell into the deep pit and died. Jack the Giant Killer was a hero. In Victorian times, the island was a community of 300 islanders, 4 streets, 53 houses, pubs, and a school, and an underground railway. It's now home to about 35 residents. There's lots to see. And at the bottom of the mount, alongside the busy harbour, are gift shop, tea rooms, and restaurant. At the top of the mount is the castle with its origins in the 11th century, when Edward the Confessor gifted the mount to the Benedictine order to build a chapel. The community of 12 monks built the religious site by hand. Later, the chapel was passed from the Benedictine order to become a Scion monastery. The castle passed through many hands before being purchased by John St. Aubin in 1659. It is still home to the Aubin family, and it is open to visitors. The views from the top of the mount are amazing, and the huge tropical gardens are vibrant and colourful. We made our way to the chapel, and the guide gave us a wonderful talk about the history of the island and also the findings in 1725 of a hidden underground room in the chapel measuring 8 feet by 6 feet with the skeleton of a large man laying on the floor. The man would have been about 7 feet 8 inches tall. A giant indeed. Back at the holiday park, enjoying our evening meal, we were discussing the day out at the Mount. "What happened to the monk?" said my mum. "Good point," I replied. "What monk?" said Dad. We both looked at him, surprised. "The monk on the Mount," we said. When we went into the church, he followed the guide down the aisle. "I thought he was going to tell us about the monks that lived there in the past," said Mum. "I thought he was part of the tour too," I said, "but I don't remember seeing him at the front of the church, and I didn't see him leave." "I didn't see a monk," said Dad. "He was on the boat when we went over," I said. "No," said Dad. "There wasn't a monk, just ordinary people." Me and Mum looked at each other puzzled. "He got off the boat in front of us and walked off up the path," said Mum. "But where did he go then?" Mum looked at me. "I don't know," I said. "He sort of disappeared amongst the other people." "There wasn't a monk," said Dad. Did you enjoy my ghost story? Did you notice the monk whilst you were watching? I have no photographs from the visit in 1974, so the photographs you saw are from recent visits to St. Michael's Mount. I've used AI to create or enhance the images used to illustrate our visit, and they are very accurate. The monk is exactly how I saw him in his basic brown habit. I can still see him in my mind so clearly when I think about that day. He was at the front of the boat and the first to get off. Nobody else seemed to notice him, and he got lost in the group of people as we left the boat and started to walk up the path. I remember looking at him as he disappeared amongst the people, and I wished I'd been able to chat to him. We saw him again as he followed the guide down to the front of the church, and then he just disappeared. My dad didn't see him at all. I recently found out that the monk is the most commonly seen ghost by visitors to St. Michael's Mount, so if you visit there, watch out for him. Please leave your comments below. I'd love to know what you think. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I have other real ghost stories to share that have happened to me.